Have you ever kept a secret from someone that you cared about? Of course you have, because it's nigh impossible to go through life without holding back at least one piece of information from people around you. But the severity of that secret may dictate whether or not keeping said secret will cause undue harm. Today we're going to be examining one of the most beloved and enigmatic characters in Genshin Impact, and how his apparent need to keep secrets about his past could be irreversibly causing damage to not only his relationships, but also his own psyche. This is a little psychology in Teyvat. Our surreptitious pirate boy, Kaeya, is riddled with secrets both big and small, from his supposed lineage leading back to a divinely destroyed technological wonder, to whether he has a functional left eye under that eye patch, to whether MiHoYo will ever ship Kaeya and Diluc together. One thing is certain. Throughout our interactions with him, he has continued to express an incredibly shady visage. Now, this isn't to say that Kaeya is evil by any stretch of imagination, and that he is holding information from us for nefarious purposes. In fact, I'm convinced that he is doing the exact opposite, and is likely trying to protect us from the information that he is aware of, but that kind of behavior is exactly what makes him a very mysterious character. The irony here is that even though him and Diluc appear to be on opposite ends of the law in Mondstadt, both of them act from the shadows. Diluc masquerades himself as the Dark Knight hero, while Kaeya acts like a sleeper agent within the Knights of Favonius. Diluc is simply much more open about his exploits to the Traveler, which is actually the main reason for why we trust Diluc, while we tend to keep Kaeya in our peripherals. I would argue that this is why Kaeya has taken such a fondness to Diluc, because either instinctively or prospectively, he recognizes that they are very similar, although I'm not quite sure if Diluc feels the same way. Diluc just seems kind of annoyed whenever Kaeya is around most of the time. Almost like Kaeya is to Diluc an annoying younger brother. In fact, it is this need for secrecy that explains Kaeya's behavior perfectly, and is another example of MiHoYo either doing a great job at portraying their characters to be psychologically consistent, or them just being incredibly lucky that their storytelling just happened to line up with science. Keeping secrets creates something called motivational conflict. This concept explains that there is a cognitive dissonance between avoiding the social cost of information being exposed, while at the same time maintaining connections and intimacy with others. What is the best way to maintain relations with others? Well, telling the truth. See the problem? This can often lead to a secret keeper acting in a rather suspicious manner, similar to how Kaeya talks and talks and talks, and doesn't really say anything of substance, because he's compensating for the information that he would like to divulge. However, because that information cannot be divulged, he must substitute it for something else to perceive himself as maintaining the relationship, to maintaining trust. We can clearly see here that Paimon is not taking any of Kaeya's bullshit seriously.
You're a bad man for lying to me! Shame on the Knights!
Alright, stop it already. Though the treasure doesn't exist, you did want it for yourself, didn't you? Otherwise you would have informed me of your intentions, no?
That? Well, let's go! Paimon's done talking to him.
We have to remember that we are journeying in the shoes of the Traveler, and so Kaeya is likely tailoring his words very carefully in order to keep his secrets from accidentally spilling out. Of course, he is going to put on a calm face, but the last thing he wants is for the Traveler to panic, or more specifically Paimon, since she is effectively our mouthpiece. #free the Traveler's voice. Studies have shown that more than 97% of people have one or more secrets to keep at any given time, but the average person will actually have around 13 secrets, which is staggering. Perhaps there's a Kaeya in all of us. Studies have also shown that the greater the magnitude of the secret, the greater the impact on the individual's psyche. And since Kaeya's secret likely involves his very identity and lineage, and could cause him to be ostracized from the Knights of Favonius, the stress laden upon him must be considerable. And it is not the secret holding itself that is dangerous, but the constant day in and day out thinking about the secret at all hours of the day. of which Kaeya appears to be doing, especially during our interactions with him. Several indicators of someone under stress to carry secrets is anxiousness, wanting to be alone, and mind-wandering, as they have trained themselves to do so by thinking about the secrets at all times. Even though Kaeya seems well-mannered, someone who keeps secrets like him for as long as he has, even from his fellow knights, would be spent of their emotional and cognitive resources, leaving him possibly with negative feelings of guilt, fatigue, and frustration. This could explain why he even acts somewhat coldly towards his fellow knights, while still trying to keep at least a working relationship intact, as we see with Amber. Just think about it. Every time we see Kaeya, he's on his own, and the only time he is with someone is when he's with Diluc, hence why people keep shipping them together. The only time we see Kaeya with others is during Jean's surprise party in her character quest, and once Amber's speech is over, what do we find? Kaeya on his own at a table with 2 chairs. We can only hope that MiHoYo allows Kaeya to open up to us soon, because this kind of severe secret keeping is incredibly dangerous to the human brain, leading to intense sadness, loneliness, and oftentimes depression, as the person will eventually feel as though healthy relationships are so far out of their reach that they cannot possibly have them anymore. Sadly, overcoming this is not going to be as easy for Kaeya as just blurting out all of his secrets at once, as he has likely been holding on to these secrets for many years now, and if these secrets are generational, then that implies even more pressure on him to keep them bottled up inside. Kaeya is going to have to figure out a way of exposing these secrets in such a way where the recipient, hopefully the traveler, will not reject him due to his secret, that the relationship would be damaged or destroyed. This is oftentimes the reason for why people don't expose their secrets due to the possible social damage that it could cause. They would rather endure the internal torture than cause irreparable damage to someone else. They don't keep secrets to harm others. Like with Kaeya, it's done to protect them. At present, Kaeya does not appear to be losing control over his ability to hold his secrets back, so I would not expect him to tell us all about Khaenri'ah anytime soon. But if he does continue down this path, it's likely that as pressure mounts, as the Tsaritsa gathers more Gnosis, as Albedo's story develops, and as Teyvat moves closer and closer towards repeating Khaenri'ah's folly, he may expose himself in order to be released from the overwhelming burden of his possible lineage. The true tragedy of Kaeya is that the secret to resurrecting his homeland could be the very thing that leads to his own destruction. But what do you think? Is Kaeya just a nosy knight of Favonius that seeks to peek into all manner of circumstances, or is he burdened by his lineage to stop a repeat of his once glorious, now obliterated homeland? Is Kaeya experiencing motivational conflict, and will he take his secrets to the grave, or find someone to finally share them with, and in doing so, save his life? If there is a character in Genshin Impact that you think would be worth psychoanalyzing, let me know in the comments and I will do my best to look into the possibilities. And if you have your own thoughts about Kaeya's possible psychosis, jot it down in the discussion below as well. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. By liking the video, you'll be actively telling YouTube that this video is worth watching to others that also might be interested, and it would help me a ton as I'm just trying to start out this series. And follow me on Twitter to know when I post and find some Genshin memes along the way. And thank you for visiting A Little Psychology in Teyvat.
Hey, my name's Paimon. That's not true. You had questions. Why would you ask that? No way. Just try on. Nothing untitled. Mark my words. Vengeance will be mine. Paimon's all out of brain juice again.